on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It has been a long time since I picked up the camera to film for myself. For those of you who do not know, I actually got a full-time videography job for Drt Jones Jr. doing all of his on-the-water content, tournament vlogs, travel vlogs, all of that for his season this year on the Major League Fishing Bass Pro Tour. But that has left me little to no time to make videos for my own channel here on Hinkle.Fishing. So this is actually the first time I've even attempted to film a video for my channel this year, but hopefully we will have some more free time in the near future once the Bass Pro Tour season is over, and I have a little less on the road time because we're not going to be traveling as much. Right now we're traveling all over the country, honestly, and we have about 1 to 2 tournaments a month since the beginning of February. I think was our very first tournament, which was at Lake Conroe. But it's actually an amazing blessing to have been granted the opportunity to take this position, to be his videographer. I've made a ton of amazing connections and just got to meet a lot of really cool people in the fishing industry. It's actually such a small world. It's really cool to be able to interact with some of the people that I personally grew up watching just on YouTube myself. But yeah, it's kind of a little life update of what I've been up to recently. But as you can see, we are here sitting in front of the bait wall once again. One of the most viewed videos on my channel was my Swimbait arsenal video. I think I did that maybe a year and a half ago. And as you can see, I have quite a few more baits. And I haven't been able to do a lot of fishing, but that has not stopped me from purchasing a lot of swim baits, as you can see. I think previously I had probably about half the amount of baits, and that was combining mine and my older brother's baits. But since then I've moved out of my parents' house. I now live in Texas, where Alton lives actually, and so me and Jacob, my older brother, split apart all of our fishing gear. Now everything that you see on this wall is actually mine, which is pretty crazy to think about. I'm extremely fortunate to have acquired some of these baits, and yeah, without further ado, let's just jump right into it. Hopefully not gonna make a hour-long video, but it could turn into that, so we'll see. I'm really just gonna fly through each bait, show y'all what they are, maybe talk a little bit about them, just show the colorway. Maybe if I know the name of the colorway, I'll let y'all know. Talk about the bait maker, and yeah, maybe throw up some pictures of some fish I've caught on them. I will say, I have not got to fish as much as I did last year. I think last year I caught 110 bass on swim baits. This year I've probably caught like 20 or 25, but that's just because we've been on the road so much, and I'm doing more of watching fishing than actually fishing, but that's completely fine with me. I'm getting paid to do it. So starting off with the first baits, we're gonna just go left to right. You can't see, there's more baits off the camera over here. Maybe you can see from this angle, but we're gonna start over here on the left side, top left of the board, with my 2 Piz Beast Mode wakes. I'm gonna just leave the paper clips on all the baits that I pull off the bait wall, but here are the first 2 baits. If the camera will focus right there, these are both Piz Beast Mode wakes. I picked this one up this year from the Classic at Fort Worth, and I got this one, I think this was in my last Swimbait arsenal video, so I've had it for probably a year or 2 now. I've caught fish on both of these. I actually went night fishing with Alton last night and caught one on this bait right here. It was like a 2.5 pounder, but I also caught like a 5.7 on it the other night. I believe it was 5.7. The Beast Mode wake just gets bit a lot for me, which is surprising because of how big of a swim bait it is. As y'all can see, it's pretty enormous. It's, I think, 8 inches or 9 inches, and it's 8 ounces. So you gotta really have a beefy rod to throw it on. I might show you all the rods I have at the end of this video. But this one is called Peach Fuzz. That's the pattern. He did it for the Classic this year. And this one is just a pumpkin seed pattern. I don't know how old this pattern is. He hasn't done it in a long time, I know that. So those are my first 2 baits right there, the Piz Beast Mode wake. The longest process of this video is going to be pulling them off the bait wall and putting them back on, so we'll cut all that out though. The next bait is going to be the regular Piz Beast Wake. Here is 2 of the 3 Beast Wakes I have. Let me show y'all the third one really quick. If I can hold them all, that'd be cool. I also have this all black colorway right here. I just put the chartreuse tail in it today actually. But this middle one is the very first Piz bait I got. I think I got it like 2 years ago, maybe 2.5. I honestly don't remember, maybe 1.5, but I've acquired these two recently. I actually got this Evil Gold Digger color yesterday, which is pretty cool. This is like one of the most sought after Piz patterns in any bait, honestly. He did it free. Ow, I just hooked myself. Ow. Hopefully that doesn't happen again, just hooked myself in the finger, but he actually did the Evil Gold Digger pattern for a toy drive. This one I believe is a whiz bait. I've never seen this pattern besides one other one out there before, and then this all black one is just super sweet for night fishing. That's why I picked it up, but those are my 3 beast wakes. The beast wake is probably my favorite bait from Piz and my favorite bait in general. It just gets bit. It's very versatile. You can fish it super slow on top just as a wake bait. You can burn pause it. It'll crank down maybe like 6 inches to a foot. And one of the most deadly ways to fish this thing is just walking it around cover or just like paralleling the bank and just slow waking it, and once you get close to structure, just walking it back and forth. It's a pretty noisy bait, as y'all can hear. And it is, I think, 6.5-ish inches. I know it weighs 4 ounces, so it's a little bit heavier for like the actual like length that it is. But again, one of my favorite baits. This is probably my #1 bait right here in my entire arsenal, just because it's my first ever Piz. Caught a ton of big fish on it. It's a little bit, has a little bit of sentimental value, and as you can see, it's decently rashed up if it'll focus on the bait right there. But again, that's the 3 Piz beast wakes I own, and we'll move on to the next bait. Need to silence my phone because I just posted on Instagram. We're actually 4 followers away from 1,000 right now. Hopefully we would have hit 1,000 by the time this video goes up, which is hopefully going to be here in the next couple of days. Shouldn't take me too long to edit it, honestly. But back to the swim baits. The next bait is right here, the Piz Beast Crank. This is the shallow crank. He also makes a deep one. I have no idea if it's focusing for you guys, but once again, here's another pumpkin seed Piz Gil. Hopefully it focuses. Let's try this camera. Over here, these are the Beast Cranks. I have one that's a crappie shallow crank. It's like a silvery purple colorway, and then again the pumpkin seed pattern. This one dives, I honestly think you could get it down like 6-7 foot maybe, but if you keep your rod tip really high, you can also wake it, so it's pretty versatile. And just like the other beast wake, it can be walked on the surface as well. Basically just a deeper diving version. These have a super fluid swim, and honestly there's not much difference in the action between the crappie and the bluegill. I believe this one has a runt tail in it, which I just recently picked it up, so I'll probably end up getting the actual beast crappie tail for it, but for now I think it has the runt tail. It looks a little bit small to me. I don't know, y'all let me know in the comments if you agree. But that is the Beast Crank, the Beast Shallow Crank right there. I have 2 of them. I had another one, but I traded it actually. I'll throw up a picture of that one as well. That was from the subscriber drop, and I honestly regretted trading it, and that's why I ended up getting 2 more, because it's such a versatile bait to have in your arsenal, especially if you like fishing bluegill profile lift baits like this, which is honestly like my go-to when I'm pond fishing, which is mostly what I do. But yeah, again, there's the Beast Crank from Piz Swim Baits. Okay, next up, I got 4 of these, so I'm gonna show you 2 at a time. This is the Piz Runt Wake right here. This is the smallest of the bluegill profile baits that Piz makes, besides the old Beast Jr. Show both cameras in case the other one's not focusing, but I have one that's solid black and one that's solid white. This color is called Oyster. This one's called like Murdered Out or something like that, I believe. Just dropped the paperclip, but this one comes in right at 3 ounces. It'll wake and crank. Actually, it's the runt wake. He also makes a crank, which I've had a couple of, but I honestly prefer the wake just because the crank dives a little too deep for me. I've had a 2-piece crank before and 2 of the 3-piece cranks, both from the previous classics, the 2024 and 2025 classic. This one was the first runt I received. As you can see, it has a red eye on that side. This is the stock brown eye. The other one actually fell out, but I've caught some really good fish on this one. I actually have a video of me catching like a 5, almost 6 pounder on it on my channel previously. And then I just recently got the all black one. As you can see, it's a little bit rashed up from the previous owner, but I plan on rashing it up even more myself. Again, just for night fishing, honestly, is why I got this black color, or even just fishing some really dirty water in Oklahoma and Texas. There's a lot of real muddy red water ponds, so this black color is just really good. Just think of a black and blue jig or any just dark profile. This is a very visible color in dirty water, is why I picked these up. Let me show y'all the next 2. I keep hooking myself. Here are the next two runt wakes that I have. This one is Gold Digger, and this one is an actual, like it's an older piz bait. The way you can tell is by the eyeballs. These are like the paperback eyes. The chartreuse, which I don't even think he makes chartreuse eyes anymore at all. But this one is Gold Digger. Just recently got this one. Got this one recently as well. I have fished this one. I haven't fished this one yet. Actually, I did fish this one in the Brazos River. But yes, these are both pretty sought after patterns. Once again in the runt wake. I'll show this camera as well. But exactly the same baits as the previous two I just showed you. Like six-ish inches, maybe 5.5, 6 inches, and they are weighing 3 ounces. They can wake on a slow retrieve. They can crank down about 1 to 2 foot, and you can also walk them like the beast wake as well. Again, walking these big lift like bluegill profile crank down or like waking cranks is a very, very deadly tactic that not many people do actually. It gets quite a few bites. It's really subtle. It just goes back and forth, just that nice clicking sound, and the fish, it just drives them crazy, and they just come up and explode on it. But those are all the runt wakes I have right there for you guys. Next up is the baby carp wake. If it'll focus. Right there. Next up is the baby carp wake right there for you guys. This is once again in the color oyster. This bait I believe is 7 inches and weighs 3 or 3.5 ounces. Once again, just a nice shallow running wake and crank. It'll only dive maybe 6 inches to a foot, really similar to the beast wake. This one has a much more fluid swim, more of a shad, longer profile as you can see, and obviously it's an oyster. White baits get bit is why I have so many baits in oyster, and also it's just a pretty sought after color. I think this is a really cool bait. I ended up selling it a while ago, like I said in the previous swim bait arsenal video, but I was able to obtain it once again. And I've also caught some fish on this one before. As you can see, it has quite a bit of rash. I actually threw this one into Virginia. I went night fishing with my buddy Renat. Actually, first time ever hanging out with him while we were at Smith Mountain Lake. Was pretty fun. Didn't catch any fish, but it was cool getting to hang with him. And yeah, that is the baby carp wake. Next up, we got another bait that I just picked up last night. Once again, this is the full-size carp. And this is the second full-size carp I've had. This one's dope. It's just all purple, as you can see in the video. Me and Alton went night fishing last night and stopped by Taco Bell, and I called this the Taco Bell colorway just because it's purple. Previously, I've owned the all-black Star Wars one that had like the red belly, but this one is dope. I picked it up for a pretty good price for a piz bait. I picked it up for $2.10, so couldn't pass up that price on it. And also my buddy Eric has recently been catching him on his full-size carp wake, so I just had to get another one in the arsenal, and I couldn't pass up the deal. And it's my favorite color, purple, so I believe this bait is 4 or 4.5 ounces, and it's 9 inches, I think, 8.5, 9 inches. So it's a pretty big bait, but it honestly gets bit. Like, it's surprising how aggressive these little pond bass are, and even lake fish, but it's pretty easy to get a bite on a bait this big in a pond, especially if you're night fishing, because the fishes don't get as much pressure at night. So there is the Piz full-size carp wake for you guys. All right, the last Piz bait in my arsenal right here is the S2. This is the Shadley, now known as the S2. It is, I believe, 8.25 inches or 8.75 inches, something like that. And also right around that 4-ounce class. This is an extremely sought after bait. This one actually, I believe, was from the same drop as the Evil Gold Digger pattern, from that same toy drive. I might be mistaken though. Let me know in the comments. Just recently picked this one up for a crazy deal. I actually traded the runt crank I got from the classic for this and that pump and a beast crank, which was pretty wild of a deal. Could not pass it up. But this is a really sweet pattern. It's like a rose gold gill. These things swim amazing. This one's actually a floater, but I have it tuned to be like a perfect slow sink with those Zapu board weights on the bottom. And I have yet to catch a fish on this, but I honestly just haven't had time to throw it much yet. So hopefully we'll see some videos in the future of me catching some hogs on this bad boy. Gotta rash it up, of course. But yeah, that is the last Piz bait in the arsenal for this video. But stay tuned, we got some more heat. Also, quick pause, shout out to my boy Sebastian. He runs swim baits all day. Don't know if y'all have heard of that brand before, but he does like all these Swimbait branded apparel. I'll show y'all the back of my shirt. It has like a K9 and it says SBAD, which stands for Swimbaits All Day, obviously. Go check out his brand. He actually sent me this shirt for completely free for doing a live stream with him. Him and Jason Hillhouse do live streams all the time. If y'all want to hop on those and check him out on Instagram, go follow him. Swimbaits All Day. Once again, that's Sebastian at Swimbaits All Day. So just wanted to plug him. Shout out for the shirt. And back to the baits. Next up, we're going to get into the Trashy Gils that I own. Here is the first one. This is the standard Trashy Gilwig right here. This bait is 6-ish inches. I think it's exactly 6 inches and 3 ounces. I have caught a big one on this fish, or on this bait before. And this is my favorite pattern that Trashy does, just standard pumpkin seed. I seem to have a ton of luck with baits that just have this bright orange belly on them. I'm sure it's just because it looks just like a regular bluegill, but it's also just a really, really sexy color in my opinion. This bait is also pretty hard to get. Josh at Trashy Bass Baits has not really been making very many just standard gill baits. He's been really focused on producing all of his shad and thready glides, that these have kind of been put on the back burner, so you don't really see too many of them very often. So I recently listed this for sale, but I think I'm going to hold on to it just because I don't want to get rid of it. And I'm kind of a hoarder, as you can see by all the rest of the baits on the wall. I have way too many to fish with them all, but it's just really, really cool to have them, honestly. So that is the Trashy Gilwig, and we're going to move on to the swimmers now. Next up is the Trashy Gil swimmers that I own. This is just the non-lipped version. It's a little bit thinner profile, and it's 4-piece instead of 3-piece, as you can see. This one is actually a one-of-one that Josh made for me a super long time ago, and I was on the hunt to get it back after I sold it about 3 years ago. Only reason I sold it is because I actually had my rod stolen, which I've talked about in a few videos before, but I was able to get it back. I made like 4 posts on Swimbait Universe, and randomly one day the guy who had it just messaged me out of the blue saying I have that Trashy Gil swimmer. Didn't send a picture or anything. It's kind of random. I was like, which one are you talking about? Because I had quite a few previously, and it turned out he had this one, and I kept having to bother him for like a year. And actually, I think it was like Christmas Eve, he was like, I'll finally sell it to you. And it was a Christmas miracle, you could say. But that is a super, super sweet bait. I'll show this camera right here. It's just a purple and blue pattern. And how I got this bait is actually a pretty cool story. Back in like 2021, I posted a Tranks 300 for sale on my Instagram story, and Josh, the owner of Trashy Bass Swimbaits, actually DM'd me and said he would trade me baits for the reel, and he was going to give the reel to his buddy for his birthday or something like that. And he actually ended up making me 4 custom one-of-one Trashy swim baits, and I had this purple gill done, I had a Gilglide done, and I had 2 shad glides. I'll throw up the picture here. But that was a super, super awesome deal that Josh did for me. So that bait also has some sentimental value since it's one-of-one and I picked the colors. I actually sent him a picture of a black and blue and purple Dirty Jigs flipping jig as the color I wanted him to match, which is also a little bit different. But here's the other 2 colors that I have. This one is just pumpkin seed, and this one is like a little red ear pattern, which is actually super realistic. Show this camera as well. These are 3 ounces, 6 inches, slow sink. My purple one is actually a floater, but you can tune them all to be floaters if you just drill some lead out. But yeah, this used to be my favorite bait. I've caught a really big fish on this one specifically. I haven't caught any on these other 2, but I mainly throw this color because it's just my most productive color. But I'll throw a picture of that fish I caught on this one, and we'll move on to the next baits. Next up is going to be the Bug Rock from Monster Bait Development. These are actually handmade wooden baits from a guy who lives in the mountains of Japan, which is pretty freaking cool. This is actually an older Bug Rock. The reason you can tell is because it has like the orange and yellow belly. I think the recent ones just have a little bit of orange right here. So yeah, I just recently picked this one up, got it in a big lot of baits that I spent way too much money on, but it was worth it because they were all under retail essentially is what I paid. But this is a crank down. I think it gets down about 6 or 7 feet, and I actually have a swim video. I don't know if I posted it on my Instagram, but this thing is super loud in the water. It's wood, like I said, but you can burn it, crank it down, and also like dead walk it underneath the surface. It's a super, super deadly bait. I'm super stoked that I was able to get a red one for the springtime. I don't have any red crank downs, so this fills a gap in the arsenal. And yeah, it's just an awesome bait, handmade by a guy in Japan, just a one-man show. And that is the Bug Rock. Next up, made by the same guy in his house or shack in Japan in the mountains. These are the Monster Bait Development Eden 8s. He has an Eden 7 out now, but this is the original one, I believe. This one's like a shiner pattern, and this one is like oyster, all white with yellow on the belly. Show this camera as well. Got this one with the red bug rock, and I previously purchased this one from a guy on Instagram, but I've caught a fish on this shiner one. Haven't got to fish the white one yet, but this is like a hybrid glide swim bait that has a really cool like fluid motion when you just reel it straight, and also it's like you can fish like a chop glide, like, and make it go back and forth pretty good. These are also made from Japanese cypress wood, and they're also made by the same guy, one-man show like I said, but just a really, really unique bait. You don't really see too many like 3-piece glide baits, which it doesn't even make sense coming out of my mouth that a glide bait could be 3 pieces, but there is one right there for you guys. The Eden 8 from Monster Bait Development. Next up, we got the Willy Pete. This is the OG Willy. There's also the Little Willy. These are made by a guy in Yukon, Oklahoma, which is like 15 minutes from where I used to live in Oklahoma City. His name is Brent. These are amazing, amazing glide baits. They're 7 inches, 2.5 ounces. They come in right at $100, which is pretty much unheard of nowadays for a like handmade resin glide bait like this. As you can see, they have some amazing paint jobs. He sends them off to some of the best painters in the country. These are both painted up by Nathan Pierce. I believe he lives in California. He does crazy, crazy trout patterns. This one's like a blue crappie, as you can see. This one was supposed to be like similar to Queen, just has that chartreuse on the belly, purple back. I actually helped pick out these 2 patterns. These were exclusive colorways made for the tackle store I used to work at, Lucky Lure Tackle, as y'all can see on the hat. But yeah, these are amazing, amazing baits for the money. These catch big fish. I had a bone one that I just gave to my buddy for his birthday. I've caught some big ones on that. I brought this one to Florida with me. Didn't get any bites, but that's all right. If y'all haven't checked out Willy Pete's custom swim baits, go check them out on Instagram. They're amazing, like I said, and they get bit. They're affordable. And yeah, that is the Willy Pete OG Willy. Moving on, I'm going to kind of show these 2 at a time to speed up the video. We got the 2 Gracie baits that I own. This is the Gracie Finesse Gil. Hopefully y'all can see that. This is a really, really small bluegill profile glide bait. I think it's exactly 1 ounce, and I actually have caught a pretty good fish on this one down here in Waco, fishing from the paddleboard with my girlfriend. And this one is the full-size Shad right here. I believe it's painted by Bill Barton. Sorry, Bill Barton, BB Lures, if you've seen him on Instagram. He does an insane baby bass pattern like that, as y'all can see. Show it over here in case that one was out of focus, but that's the Finesse Gil and the full-size Shad. Haven't got to catch one on this one yet. I've only thrown it 1 time though. Weighted it down with a little Zapu board weight on the bottom. This one is it's kind of also a cool story. I ended up purchasing a saltwater custom-made Gracie Finesse Gil that was bright orange, and it was like an extra fast sink. And I went to go fish at the pond, and it like didn't really swim at all. And I reached out to Kyle, and he actually sent me this one completely for free, which was awesome. And this is like a super dope pattern. I don't remember who painted this. It might have been Kyle himself, but again, that is the Finesse Gil and the full-size Shad from Gracie Baits. On to the next ones. Alright, next up is the legal dope swim baits I have. This one is the Do Baby, the full-size Do Baby Gilglide. I've caught a big fish on this one. I'll throw a picture right here. This is the Tiny Tum. It's a shallow bluegill crankdown. I actually got to pick the pattern in both of these as well. Edwin made them for me. He makes quite a few pretty cool baits. This is like one of the best bluegill glide baits on the market. It's really choppy, really stable, and it's a pretty dope pattern right there. It's like a matte bluegill. I don't know if y'all can see that. Again, show it over here to you guys, but I think this one's probably around 2.5 ounces. Same for the Tiny Tum. The Tiny Tum will crank down 5 or 6 foot, and it's a really fluid action, pretty loud bait. It's a square bill lip. He makes one that has a round lip. I think he makes a deeper diving one as well, but this is just the shallow square bill version. And the Do Baby, he makes a smaller one as well. I forgot what it's called, but the Micro Do Baby, I'm pretty sure is what it's called. He also makes one now that has a rubber soft tail, which looks pretty sweet, so go check those out. But again, those are made by Legal Dope. Those are the 2 Legal Dope baits I have from Edwin, right there. Next up is the Clickbait Customs Mini Shore Banger right here. This is the Mini like I said, he makes a full-size one as well. I have one in all black and one in all pink. Caught some hammers on both of these baits right here. It's just really a shallow crank down. It dives probably 4 foot. It's like a little over an ounce, I would say. One of my favorite baits. You can really bang it off anything, like he says. It's called the shore banger. Has that circuit board lip right there. My favorite way to fish these is just like a burn, pause, retrieve. They click pretty loud underwater. I have a swim video of these as well. It might be linked on my Instagram. I'm not sure. Go check it out. But solid black, once again, staple for muddy water. And then pink honestly just looks white in the water. So that's why I ended up picking this one up. I don't remember when I bought this. I think I got this one on a drop. I got this one at the Classic in 2024 whenever Daniel was there. So again, one of my favorite baits. I would love to get a full-size shore banger. So if y'all got one, let me know. DM me on Instagram. But especially if it's in one of these 2 patterns, that'd be cool to have the bigger size. But there is the Clickbait Mini shore banger for you guys. Next up, another absolutely monstrous bait. Right there is the Mob Walker. Whoa, sorry. I believe this thing is 9 ounces. It's almost 9. Might be a little over 9 inches actually. I've thrown it a few times and I get so many bites on the beast mode wake. You would think I would have caught a fish on this one by now, but I have not, surprisingly. I got this one originally. It was in a perch pattern and I sent it off to B&A Customs to be painted this candy apple gill, which is pretty dope, I would say. Looks like my tail's falling out, which it's fallen out one time before, which is fine. I just need to super glue it in there a little bit better. But this thing is absolutely enormous. I just have an affinity for big, giant bluegill profile wake baits, so I had to pick me up a Mob Walker, of course. And this one is in a dope pattern. It only cost me 50 bucks to get it painted, and this is an enormous bait, and that's a super detailed pattern. So hit up B&A if y'all want to get your baits painted. But again, that is the Mob Walker in Candy Apple Gill, made by Throwback Baits. Next up, an essential if you're a swim baiter right here, is the Throwback Baits Metro Glide. This one's in pink lemonade. I've had a few in the past, including like the chartreuse and purple colorway. I'll throw up some pictures right here. But this one is in pink lemonade, the Homeless Fisherman's signature color. Marshall at the Homeless Fisherman, go check him out on YouTube as well. I actually just got to meet him at the G-Crack meetup, and I also did all the media work at the G-Crack meetup. So if y'all want to go check out their Instagram for all those little short form videos you see that G-Crack posts were made by me, which is pretty cool. And I'm actually getting a G-Crack Metro, which I don't know if y'all saw that collab. I'll post a picture right here. They did a collab with Throwback Baits and G-Crack for the Keepcast show in Nagoya, Japan. And they had like, I think 12 or so G-Crack Metros, and I'm actually getting one, which is pretty insane. I'll have it here in the next month or so. Really dope bait. The Metro is honestly one of the best like 7-inch long profile shad glides. Super versatile. I'll throw a clip of me catching one on it yesterday or 2 days ago at my grandpa's land. Caught like a 3.5 pounder on this specific one. It's got some rash on it, as you can see. This is just a crazy bright pattern, but it just gets chewed. I don't know why. The fish just love it. But again, that is the Throwback Metro in pink lemonade. Right there. Next up, I'll show y'all a couple baits I got from Renat while we were in Virginia. He works for Fish Everything, does their media work now, and they actually delivered us some taxi shads. And I also got one of their walking baits. They gave Alton the 12-inch taxi shad, a 7-inch. I got the 9-inch, the walking bait, and then Alton also got the hater, like wake bait. This is the first big giant walking bait I've ever owned. Haven't got to throw it yet, but. And then this is the Taxi Shad 9-inch. I believe they make one from 6 inches all the way up to 13, which is absolutely insane. But this is just another really good shad profile glide bait. Fish Everything has been around for a very long time. They used to be known for making the paperweight, which I've owned a few of. And now they make the Taxi Shad, the trout, and a couple other baits in the Fish Everything repertoire, if you could say, in the Fish Everything arsenal. So that is the first ever taxi shad I've owned, and that is the 9-inch right there for you guys. Next up is kind of another sentimental bait to me. My girlfriend actually got this one for me for Christmas. It's the first ever swim bait she's ever bought me. She did it all on her own without any help from any of my friends, which is pretty crazy because she did pretty well, honestly. This is a BC Baits Gilglide, and this is like a long ear sunfish pattern. I don't know if y'all can see that, but it's a super dope pattern. Gilglide. I have not yet caught a fish on it. I have thrown it. I just took the hooks off of it because they're pretty big. I put them on a different glide bait. I'm gonna put some lighter wire hooks on this thing so it sinks a little bit slower. This is the Gen 2, I believe. He's working on Gen 3 right now. But yeah, that's the BC Baits Gilglide. Shout out to my girlfriend for getting that one for me for Christmas. This one will never leave the arsenal, obviously, since she picked it out. Super dope. I think the pink fins on it attracted her, but she did really well with that one. So next up is the, what's it called? Jacked Up Baits Rat right here. Got this one along with my first ever beast wake. This one is a wooden rat. Actually, I found out the owner of the company messaged me after I posted the swim video for it and told me it was wood. I thought it was resin, but this is the only rat bait I own, and I've never caught a fish on a rat. I literally let my little brother throw this with me. The one time I ever take him night fishing, he throws a rat with me, catches like a 3-pounder. I don't know what it is with me and rats. I just can't seem to get a bite on them, but that is the Jacked Up Baits rat. If I was to own one, this is a great one to own. Handmade. I think there's only like 3 of these out there, honestly. So, not sure you're gonna be able to find one. Maybe you can get the owner of the company to make you one if you want one. I highly recommend. This thing is pretty noisy. Super solid swim on it, and yeah, have a swim video on my Instagram if you want to go check it out. Next up is the only crawler I own in the arsenal. It's the Swimbait Baits Kairu crawler. It's a frog. Looks super realistic, which is kind of funny. You don't really see many frog swim baits. But this is just a standard crawler. Goes bloop, 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 bloop in the water. Not yet caught a fish in this one. I picked it up because it looks very similar to the Odie rat crawler that my buddy Eric had, and we have both caught a ton of fish on it. So, has the same like hardware setup that I like about it. That's what I like about it, and it's just a standard round white frog pattern on the bottom. I think it'll get bit. I just gotta throw it. So, again, that's the Swimbait Swimbaits Kairu, or K-A-E-R-U crawler. All right, we got 3 more types of baits, but I have multiples of them. So, we got the Drt Riser Jack Jr. with the mouthpiece lip. And I don't even know if this is a very popular way to throw this bait. This bait is not popular at all. You can find these for like $25 on eBay now because people just don't know about this mouthpiece conversion. It literally makes it into a giant jitterbug, and this thing gets bit. It's really just like the same thing as the crawler, just slightly different action. It spits a ton of water. It's really hard to blow out. And you can get these lips. They're in stock on the DRT website right now. So for like $40, you can get a super awesome giant jitterbug. They make these in a ton of colors. They make them in the junior size, like this one right here, and the full size one. But yeah, that's the Drt Riser Jack Jr, basically a giant jitterbug, and this is the mouthpiece lip. I've never even thrown it the other way because this way is so good. So, okay, next we're gonna move on to the tiny clashes. I currently have 6 of them, and I have a little bit of story about them. So, just gonna zip through them. If you don't know about the tiny clash, you've been living under a rock. It's one of the most versatile swim baits. It's 6.6 inches. I only own low floats. It's the best one. It's the only one you really need. Besides one, I do have one that's different, but I'll talk about that one in here in a second. This is the first of the 3 G-Crack collab colorways I own. This is my favorite. Has that bone belly with the orange dot underneath the lip, and it's kind of like that clearish brown with the black line. That is number 1. Next up is the second G-Crack collab colorway. This one's kind of more of a bluish tinge to it. Has that pink tail. It's got the chrome on the side and more chrome on the face. Again, a nice translucent pattern in the TK, as well, a low float, and it's also a G-Crack collab right there. And this one is actually going to Anthony Lee at the Tackle Shack. Shout out Anthony. He was my camera boat driver at the tournament on Conroe whenever I was filming for Alton. I saved him from drowning. He crashed his drone. If you want to check out those videos, go check out I think day 3 or day 4 of our Conroe videos on AJ Fishing. That is the YouTube channel I help Alton run. But yeah, this one's going to him. He owns a super awesome tackle store in the Houston area, and they just opened up recently another location in Austin and it's called the Tackle Shack if y'all don't know. But I'm actually trading Anthony this TK and another one for a super unique bait called a bass rock. So y'all will see that in an upcoming video. I'm getting a bass rock from him, which is super awesome. Another handmade bait from a one-man show in Japan. So that's Tiny Clash number 2. We'll zip through them now. Here's Tiny Clash number 3, another G-Crack color. It's like a green back with the teal sides, really translucent pattern right there. Tiny Clash number 4 is the crazy yellow and green one. Just recently got this one. I did catch a smallmouth on it behind Ott Defoe's house. I'll throw a picture of that now, or a little clip actually. Has a bright green back, solid yellow. Got it because I think it's a bite getter, honestly. Just how many bites I've got on the Throwback Metro and Pink Lemonade, I had to get another yellow bait, so got this one. Next up is one that Alton actually gave me. He picked this one up whenever he went to Japan with the G-Crack guys. This is a Backlash Tackle exclusive colorway. It's like a color shift, purpley bluish green with a chrome face. And I did catch a big one on this one actually. So that's pretty dope. In the, like without the light, it's like a dark brown, but in the light you can see all the color shift colors that it throws right there. But yeah, it's a Backlash collab with DRT. And if y'all didn't know, Backlash Tackle is a tackle store in Japan that is owned by the owner of G-Crack. So yeah. And the last color is right here. Forgot what it's called. It's something blue, Dai Blue or something like that. And this one is actually a little bit different. As you can see, that front ball is missing. This is actually a cranking custom TK, which I have the box for somewhere. Yeah, right here behind the camera. Here's the box for it, so y'all can see it says cranking custom on there. This one is also going to Anthony. Had to give him 2 for the Bass Rock, which is a fair trade, honestly. And I don't need 6 TKs. I also have a 7th one that I'm gonna go back and get. It was that fish collab, the fish exclamation point Japanese collab. It's like bone and teal. Throw a picture of it now. I've caught quite a few fish on that one. I got it snagged while I was night fishing, and I didn't want to go swimming because the water was really cold. But I know where it is, and I'm gonna bring my goggles and go get it. But again, that is the last Tiny Clash in the collection. It's called Dai or Dai Blue right there, and that one's leaving the arsenal. Unfortunately, but fortunately. Next up is the Clash 9. I have it in the same exact pattern, Dai Blue. That's why I'm not so sad about getting rid of the Tiny Clash, because I have it in the bigger one. The K9 is 9 inches, 4.4 ounces, I believe. And I honestly don't really fish it the same as the TK. I really just throw it in glide mode. It dives too deep with the lip in for me to fish it from the bank, really. But this is a super dope pattern. It's a really good glide bait. It's like a big giant underwater walking bait, honestly. But that's the K9. I have one more K9 in the arsenal. Let me show y'all that. The last K9 in the arsenal is in Queen. One of the best colors that DRT has ever made. Right there, I have caught a fish on this one. I haven't even fished the other one yet, but caught a fish on this one the very first time I ever went out with it. I fished this one lip out, tail in mode B, so pointing down, glide mode for the most part. But yeah, that's Clash 9, low float. And I got a few more like miscellaneous baits I'll show y'all really quick. We got the Zorba Glide. These are made in Europe, I believe. I had 4 of them. I've ended up giving most of them away just because I have way too many baits. This is the Shad Jr. I believe. It's in that bright orange pattern. I just don't have any other glide baits out of this color, so this is the one I kept. But Zorba baits, they're super crazy detailed, super nice paint job, super durable. These get bit. He makes a new one. I don't remember what it's called, but I want to get one of the new ones. They swim a little bit better, a little bit more stable. But yeah, those are Zorba baits. Go check them out. And then we got the general, the staple in the arsenal, a bullgill. Don't have any actual bull shads anymore, but I've owned plenty of them. This is just a 5-inch bullgill. I got 4 of these for like $100. And I gave, my buddy Eric took 2 and I took 2. Ended up trading one away, I'm pretty sure. And then the last bait, just a 6-inch trace. And I also have some Citizens and stuff. Here's a couple of Citizens. My PB is actually on the 7-inch Citizen. I caught a 7.4. Didn't have the camera on or anything for it, but I'll throw up a picture of it. It was on the one that's hanging up there on that memory little. It's like my memory baits. I caught my PB. Like my 2 PB baits are up there, and then like the baits I caught my most fish ever in a day on, stuff like that. Well, let me think what else there is. Here, I'll pull the camera off and I'll show y'all some of the Swimbait setups. Here are the Swimbait setups. As you can see, we got the F5 MVT with the Scorpion. with the varial gray knobs on it. Then we got the Tatula 200 on the F5 ghost code that I made the custom grips on. Check out that video on my channel. Got an F5 beast hook rod, the new ghost code. Then I have this new custom F5 swimbait rod right there. This one is a 7.4 medium heavy, 1/2 to 3 ounce. This one is 7.10 extra heavy, extra fast, 1 to 6 ounce. 7.10 medium heavy, 1 to 4 ounce. That one's 8 foot, 2 to 8 ounces. That's what I throw the beast mode on. Throw most of my crank downs on that one. Soft baits, and then like my 7-inch glide baits, mostly the Tiny Clash and the Metro. And then we also got the double barrel over here. It's actually my older brother's. I had the mini mag. He got the double barrel, and I ended up selling my mini mag because this one is just a way more versatile rod, and we don't need 2 of them. So, but got some more rods over here. Just kind of just giving y'all a roundabout update of everything. My apartment's a mess. This is actually supposed to be the dining room of my apartment, and I turned it into the fishing room because who needs a dining room? But anyways, I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Hopefully gonna be able to post some more content, hopefully some fishing content for you guys here in the near future. That is the updated swimbait arsenal. It honestly changes every single week. I'm getting more baits, trading baits away, mostly just getting more baits at this point. But yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed the video. This is not very common to have this many swim baits. I spent way too much money on them, as you know. You don't need this many to catch fish, you really just need a few. Find your favorites and just have one and a backup maybe, and you'll be all set. Swimbait fishing is super fun if you've never done it. I highly recommend getting into it. It is an expensive hobby, but well worth it. The community is awesome. And yeah, again, hope y'all enjoyed the swimbait arsenal video. Let me know if y'all want to see an updated rod and reel arsenal. I showed you all the swimbait rods, but I have quite a few more conventional setups down there on the rack. And yeah, peace out.